Quite the weekend in Germany. Of course, the big game it finished, Bayern 0, Leipzig 0. Just 1 point separates them at the top of the table. Borussia Dortmund shook themselves in the foot again. 3-2 up. In the end, they'd lose 4-3. Gladbach didn't play. Their game was postponed because of the weather, meaning there is 4 points that separate the top 4 in Germany. Bayern, of course, favourites, Robbo, given their history, given their tradition, given the fact that they are reigning champions. But did you see enough chinks in their armour to suggest that maybe this time one of the chasing pack can catch them?
I think they've got a slight problem at the back four at the moment. I thought they played very well for the first 30 minutes against Leipzig. They played the sort of football that I expect Bayern to play. The fullbacks got forward and got good crosses into the box. Muller looked like the player of 3 or 4 years ago. Thiago was dominating midfield. But when you think that Sula's out for quite some while, they sold Hummels. Now Boateng had to go off injured. So they ended up the game with Alaba as one of the centre-halves and Hernandez as the other centre-half. So that wouldn't inspire me in terms of if they were being attacked and if they're being counter-attacked. And Leipzig did have 2 or 3 good opportunities in the second half, although they're outplayed in that first half. I still think Bayern Munich are going to be good enough. Hansi Flick's done an excellent job since he's been in charge. I think they're back to somewhere near their best. But the 2 centre-halves, that's a problem area for them.
Having said that, though, they didn't look their best after that opening half an hour, did they?
No, they didn't. They looked as though it was one of those you could play till midnight and still not score. I mean, Goretzka, I think it was, had that clear chance. But after that, you're kind of scratching your head to come up with any other real clear opportunity.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Timo Werner should have scored.
He should have scored, and no question, Bayern were vulnerable to the counter-attack and the pace that Leipzig have. But the biggest surprise was the amount of possession Bayern had and the so few clear chances that they created. So that would worry me.
How many times did Bayern leave themselves exposed like that at the back? I mean, the ball for Nkunku over the top, that great chance for Werner, dear God, I mean, there was almost a whole half of the pitch to run into for both players. I mean, how do you get yourself in a position with so many experienced players? And I know they had to make changes or did make changes during the game. But it's not like you're bringing on kids that don't know how to organise themselves. I mean, the basics of when you're attacking is you at least have a semblance of enough bodies back, goal side, that if there is a ball played over the top, you're in a decent position. Bayern often leave themselves exposed, and Leipzig should have taken full advantage. That being said, they've only got 1 win, I believe, in the Cup since they went to break finish. So Nagelsmann hasn't exactly, whilst it's not been terrible for them, you know, coming back against Gladbach, getting a point against Bayern Munich, not a disaster, but it hasn't been clearly the perfect start to the second half of the season.
Who's going to push them the hardest, Robbo?
It's going to be Leipzig. I think Dortmund are too inconsistent. They're giving away goals left, right and centre. There's certainly not enough consistency about their play at the moment. Borussia Monchengladbach, I don't think are quite good enough. They're a decent side without being extraordinary. I think that Leipzig will challenge Bayern Munich, but come the end of the season, Bayern Munich will probably be 4 or 5 points clear and win the title.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.